Everybody, welcome to JAIIB CAIIB English Medium channel. I hope all of you are doing fine. Today, in the most important question series, we will be talking about the second part for principles and practices of banking. So, I hope that last class you all have visited. If not, then it is highly recommended that you visit that particular class and try to solve all those questions because they are one part of the most important questions in the PPB examination. So, let's get started. We will try to time and again reiterate the fact that PPP examination is coming. 8th of November is your exam, and this should be your order of preference to cover the module. First cover the module A, then B, then C, and then D. Today we'll be focusing on the module A. So first question in front of you, according to the simplified due diligence requirements for foreign students opening a bank account, which of the following statement is correct? So simplified due diligence requirement, and that too for the foreign students. What will be the right answer? They want to open a bank account. So first statement, a foreign student can open NRO, that is the ordinary account, using their student ID card as proof of identity. The bank has 60 days to verify the student's local address after the account is opened. So, what is the minimum time which is required by the bank, and what is the maximum timeline that you must know? Foreign exchange, the foreign remittances to the student's account are not allowed under any circumstances. So, we cannot have any kind of foreign remittance in the student's account, whether it is possible or not, because you are opening the account of foreign students only. The required documents include a passport with visa endorsement, photograph, and an invitation letter from an Indian educational institution. So, what will be the right answer here? Try to answer this, because sometimes what we have seen that IIBF, it focuses not only on the simple basic things, but specifically for the foreign accounts, but it also dig deeper into the concept. So foreign students account is one of that particular concept. Correct answer will be option D. The requirement is that the documents which you have to submit must include passport with the visa endorsement, a photograph of yours, and admission letter from the Indian educational institution where you will be pursuing your particular professional course. So here you can see for yourself the due diligence requirement for the self-help groups. Last part also we have seen that the CTD of all the office bearer shall suffice. But when you talk about the foreign students must have certain stipulation. First of all, to open the NRO account for the foreign students based on the passport, you must have a passport, valid passport with visa and immigration endorsement, bearing the proof of identity and address in the home country. To whatever country they belong, their address must be there. Then photograph and letter offering admission from the educational institution in India. Then we have to obtain declaration about the local address. What is the local address where they are residing in India within 30 days of opening of the account, and the address should be verified. So here 30 days is the timeline, okay, not 60 days. Fine. Here we have seen that the bank has 60 days to verify the local address. No, the bank must obtain declaration about the local address within 30 days. Then during this period, foreign remittances should not exceed $1,000 or equivalent can be credited, not to exceed rupees 50,000. Okay, so always remember, more than 50,000 is not allowed till there is background check ongoing. Okay, and here it was written that foreign remittances are not allowed under any circumstances. No, it is not correct. Then prior to RBI's approval, RBI's approval is also required to open the account. So always remember, in the customer due diligence process, we have various customers. Specifically for the foreign students, what you have to do, these parameters you must follow. What is the most important out of them? The most important one is the verification of the local address, which must happen within 30 days. Next question, we have based on the public-private limited companies and the subsidiary also. This question we have picked from the first part only. Why? Reason being because some students were facing a difficulty. I received messages from the students that they were unable to understand how we have arrived at the correct answer. So we will be again doing this question today. Consider the following statements about limited companies. So there are limited companies, fine. We have public limited company and private limited company. So the first statement pertains to public limited company, which states that public limited company must have a minimum of 7 members for incorporation. 7 members. Private limited company can have unlimited number of members. So what we have seen in the theory part, that public limited company can have unlimited members. But when we talk about the minimum number of members, whether it is 7 or not, so answer is yes, 7 is the minimum ask. But for private limited companies, the minimum number, again I'm reiterating, the particular for the private limited company, the minimum number will be 2, and the maximum number is also defined as 200. So unlimited number will be a wrong statement. A subsidiary company of a private company is always considered as a public company. So again, in the last class also we have discussed that it is not always considered, okay? Only when it is not mentioned as a private company, then we can say that yes, by default we will consider it as a public company. So third statement is also wrong. That is why we told that in the last class, 1 only is the right answer. Okay, A is the correct answer. Okay, so see, a subsidiary company of another company. Okay, subsidiary of another company. Let's suppose this is the company X. That is not a private company. Now it is specifically, implicitly mentioned that this X is not a private company. Okay, it is deemed to be public company. If it is mentioned that it is not a private company, then we would say that yes, this X, the subsidiary company of a particular company which is not a private company, will be termed as a public company. Okay, so I hope now things are clear. Even if it is registered as a private company, there is no obligation to be called as a private company. We will say that yes, this belongs to the public limited. Okay, again, a subsidiary company of another company that is not a private company. Okay, the company is not a private company, is deemed to be stated as public company. That is why the last statement was also incorrect. Okay, public limited company, minimum number of members 7. There is no upper limit. Unlimited members can be there. Private limited, we have minimum number as 2 and maximum as 200. Okay. Now let's see another question pertaining to LEI, the legal entity identifier. What do we mean by LEI? If you know that, this is a very simple question. Otherwise, you have to, try to eliminate the options. In the actual exam also, if you do not know any answer, just try to eliminate the options. Chances are really high that you can arrive at the correct answer. So legal entity identifier, whether it is a 16-digit alphanumeric code which is used to identify financial transaction, that we know that it is for the financial transactions only. But whether it is 16-digit alphanumeric code or not, the Global Legal Entity Identifier Foundation, GLEIF, issues LEI codes directly to the entities, or whether it issues via a subsidiary in the respective countries. In India, the Legal Entity Identifier India Limited is accredited local operating unit, LOU, for issuing the LEIs, your legal entity identifiers. So whether the subsidiary model is provided by the Global Legal Entity Identifier Foundation or not, the LEI is primarily used for identifying individuals involved in financial transactions. So we have individuals who are involved in financial transactions, and whether LEI is primarily the primary objective of the LEI is to identify those individuals or not. So the correct answer will be option C. That is, in India, you have the LEIL as the accredited LOU for issuing LEIs. Fine. So what about the other options? Why they are wrong? The first option stated that there is 16-digit alphanumeric code, but here you can see that it comprises of 20-digit alphanumeric code. When I talk about the entities which can be obtained, entities whether they can obtain LEI from any LOU or not. So yes, entities can obtain the LEI from any of the local operating units which are accredited by GLEIF, the Global Legal Entity Identifier Foundation. In India, that foundation is your LEIL, the Legal Entity Identifier India Limited, which is a subsidiary of CCIL accredited by GLEIF. Okay. So what is the primary function? It is used to uniquely identify the parties to financial transactions worldwide. Fine. So when we talk about it is not about the individuals involved, it is about the parties which are involved. Okay, the overall parties, whatever the party is. If we say that a transaction is happening between two parties, or you can say A and B, then both the information will be provided by the LEI. Okay, right, that is why your correct answer was option C. Next question we have, again statement based question. A gold loan is a simple example of pledge. Possession of gold remains with the lender. Now such kind of you can say explanation, the explanation to this particular type of statement we have done in the last class. That's why I was telling you that in each class you must be very alert, you must attend all the classes, otherwise you will find some missing dots if you have not read it earlier. So the gold loan is an example of pledge we have seen in the last class, and the possession of the gold loan, whether it remains with the lender or not. So this is also right, that the bank whosoever lends to the customer, the possession lies with that particular bank only. Statement 2 states a bank is required to transfer a credit balance to DEF, depositor education and awareness fund, within 3 months after the account becomes inoperative or remains unclaimed for 10 years. So DEF account, whether you have to put all those funds in the DEF account if the account has become inoperative only within 3 months, or for that matter there is the unclaimed amount lying in your account for 10 years. So always remember, the DEF fund is basically operated by the RBI. Fine, it is held by the RBI, and you will transfer the funds which are there lying in the inoperative accounts only after 10 years, not within 3 months. Okay, after 3 months, your account becomes inoperative if there is no debit or credit activity ongoing. But when we talk about the depositor education and awareness fund, you will transfer those funds lying in the inoperative account only after 10 years. Okay, fine. So the correct answer will be option B. Statement 1 is correct and 2 is incorrect. Fine. Additional information also, let's see. Depositor Education and Awareness Fund, that is DEF. In 2014, RBI established the Depositor Education and Awareness Fund under the provision of BRA, your Banking Regulation Act 1949. The banks are required to transfer the credit balance in any account or any deposit in a bank remaining unclaimed or inoperative for 10 years or more. Okay, so always remember the timeline is 10 years. Okay, don't get confused. Don't get confused. I'm again saying inoperative, one account becomes inoperative if there is no debit or credit activity from the customer who is holding that account. Okay, if there is no credit or debit activity, then after 3 months, your account will be termed as inoperative. Once the account has been termed as inoperative, starting from that date till you reach the timeline of this 10-year, after that only, once the 10 years are complete, then you will transfer the particular account, the funds in the DEF fund, fine? The funds which are there in that particular account into the DEF fund, which is withheld by the RBI. This fund is intended to be used for the purpose of education. So you will be having only single person, that is single purpose, that is education. What are the salient features? So the amount is credited to the fund within 3 months from the expiry of 10 years. Okay, so 3 months inoperative account we know. And also once you transfer the funds into DEF funds, the transfer must happen within 3 months. Okay, within 3 months from the expiry of 10 years. Okay, so inoperative, let's suppose on 1st of January 2025 the account becomes inoperative. Okay, so 10 years from here will be 1st of Jan 2035. So after 3 months from here, after here you have 10 years. Now from here count 3 months. 1 February 2035, 1 March 2035, 1 April 2035. So by this month, by this date, the amount which is present in this inoperative account must be transferred in the DEF fund, like that. So what is the utilization of the fund? The fund is utilized for promotion of depositors' interest as specified from RBI from time to time. Right now also you must be looking into the news which states that everyone who is having the unclaimed deposit in their account lying like that only, they must report to any bank, find any branch of your bank, and you can have your fund settled. The statement of our finance minister was also there last week, that we are aggressively pushing for the same, that whosoever is having funds in the lying in the DEF funds, they must claim that, so that we can have the actual amount in our mind, that who actually do not want their funds. Next, we have another question based on your multiple statement. According to the provided money laundering offense, all offenses under the PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, are non-bailable. So whether they are non-bailable or not, so yes, we have seen in the last class also that these offenses are non-bailable. Based on the garnish order, upon receiving an order NISI, a bank should immediately stop all the payments from affected accounts. So whenever you receive the order NISI, the bank of the perpetrator of the another party, it must stop all the payments. A car loan is the example of pledge? No, it is the example of hypothecation, where the security lies with the customer itself. Because the security is movable, yes, it is movable, but still we say that it is hypothecation, not pledge. Okay, so the right answer will be what? Option A. Answer is A, first and 2 is correct. So garnish order as well as the PMLA is very, very important. Then we have one question based on your Rossetti, gold loan, and layering stage. Along with that, the report which you have to submit on monthly basis in the branches. A non-profit organization is required to submit a report if it receives a single receipt of rupees 10 lakh or more, whether it is right or not. So whenever we talk about the transaction reports, they must be submitted within a timeline, fine, on monthly basis by the 15th of every month. But what is the exact amount in case the non-profit organization is providing the receipt as rupees 10 lakh or more? The gold loan is an example of pledge where the borrower retains the possession of the security. So gold loan, yes, it is the example of pledge, but the borrower is not in the possession of the security. So this is wrong. The Rossetti Rural Self-Employment Training Institute, they are managed by Ministry of Rural Development. Again, it is incorrect. Ministry is not managing it. It is managed by some local bodies. The layering stage of money laundering involves making illicit funds difficult to trace through complex transactions, series of complex transactions. So yes, B will be the right answer here. That is 1 and 4. So both these statements are correct. Okay, the SETI, although initiative of Ministry of Rural Development, it is managed by the banks with active cooperation from Government of India and state government. The local government is involved here. Okay, so this was it for today's class. Tomorrow we'll be doing these questions as well. Plus we will add some more questions. One piece of information for all of you: the big increment days are live. So here at Adda 247, we are celebrating pre-Diwali. And when we talk about the maximum discount, they are ongoing on all the JAIIB and CAIIB Maha packs. Flat 80% discount is there, plus 2x validity is also being provided. If you want to have the maximum discount, just use the discount code, that is Y1003. Along with that, if you have any query related to the courses, you can directly contact us on 0981 981 9247. fine. And if you have any doubt related to this particular session, do leave a comment stating what doubt you have. Okay, so we'll see you in the next session. Till then, goodbye everybody, take care.